help you make sense of West Africa's investment world. This podcast is brought to you by Daba, your most comprehensive platform for investing in African stocks, bonds, and managed funds. You can download the Daba app on your favorite Google and Apple app stores. It's Thursday, July 17th, and today we're breaking down the key movements on the BRVM, the regional stock exchange for West Africa. And let's start with some good news, because despite a general dip across the market, a few stocks posted remarkable performances. Yes, some shares truly stole the spotlight today. So what should investors take away from today's session? Let's dive in together. Let's begin with the top performing stocks. Leading the pack today is Unilever Côte d'Ivoire, which surged by 7.47%, closing at 23,800 francs CFA. That's an exceptional move. Since the start of the year, the stock has gained more than 267%, a phenomenal rise that reflects strong fundamentals and growing investor appetite in the essential consumer goods sector. Right behind it, Bernabé Côte d'Ivoire climbed by 7.44%, finishing at 1,300 francs CFA. This industrial stock continues to attract renewed interest. Coming in third is ONATEL Burkina Faso, the telecom operator, which jumped 5.18% to 2,140 francs CFA. That's especially notable as it was one of the few telecoms in the green today, a sector that overall trended lower. And rounding out the top five, Bank of Africa. Senegal rose 230% to 4,540 francs CFA, and NSIA Banque Côte d'Ivoire climbed 1.54% to 9,900 francs CFA. Both are encouraging signs for the regional banking sector. Now on to the losers, and some stocks saw a sharp drop. The biggest fall came from SODE CI, which fell 6.61% to end at 5,650 francs CFA. Close behind is CIE, the Ivorian electricity company, down 6.25% to 2,250 francs CFA. Tractafric Motors CI also declined by 5.90%, closing at 2,550 francs CFA. Ecobank Transnational Incorporated, or ETI Togo, dropped by 5.88% to just 16 francs CFA. And SMBCI lost 3.77%, ending the session at 8,800 francs CFA. Let's move on to the broader market trend. All major indices finished in the red. The BRVM Composite Index slipped 1.26% to 306.35 points. However, its year-to-date performance remains impressive, up 10.99% since January. The BRVM 30 Index, which tracks the 30 largest companies by market cap, fell 1.32% to 151.80 points. As for the compartment indices, the BRVM Principal declined 0.1% to 176.19 points. The BRVM Prestige dropped 0.79% to 130.47 points. Sector-wise, performance was mixed. There's good news from the consumer staples sector, which rose 0.25% today and has soared 78.24% since the start of the year. This sector remains the backbone of the BRVM's growth story in 2025. The financial services sector declined slightly by 0.55%, despite the gains by Bank of Africa Senegal. Still, the sector is up more than 20% year-to-date. The utilities sector took a hit, falling 6.35%. This reflects pressure on key players like CIE and SODE CI. Telecommunications also moved lower, dropping 2.19%, driven by losses in stocks like Sonatel and Orange CI. Now let's take a look at the bond market. Total bond market capitalization rose 4% to over 10.6 trillion francs CFA. This signals renewed investor confidence, particularly from institutions seeking stable returns. However, despite the increase in market value, trading activity was subdued. Only 4 bonds were traded, with total volume at 10,746 units, nearly 79% lower than the previous session. The total transaction value came in at 106.3 million francs CFA. Popular bonds today included several sovereign issues from Mali, such as the 10-year 2023-2033 bonds at 6.50% and 8-year 2024-2032 bonds at 6.35%, which remain in high demand among long-term institutional investors. Over in Senegal, several new sovereign bonds made their debut today, including those paying 6.40% 2025-2028, 6.60% 2025 to 2030, 6.75% 2025 to 2032, and 6.95% 2025 to 2035. These medium and long-term government bonds are gaining interest from investors looking for consistent and secure yields. For individual investors, These bonds also offer a way to generate stable passive income with relatively low risk. And speaking of taking action, if you want to identify the best opportunities across stocks and bonds, this might be the right time to step up your strategy. With Daba Pro, you'll get weekly investment recommendations, exclusive deep dive reports, and best of all, lower fees to help you invest smarter in Africa's growth story. To get weekly recommendations, access exclusive analysis, and reduce your investment fees, subscribe to Daba Pro. With Daba Pro, you don't just follow the markets, you stay ahead of them. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for listening to the Daba Markets Talk podcast. We'll be back next Monday with another update. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating, follow us, and share with friends. Remember, this information is for educational purposes. Always do your own research or consult with a financial advisor before making investment decisions. And download the Daba app on your App Store to start investing in African stocks, bonds, and manage portfolios through your phone and find other helpful content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing your financial knowledge.